Alright guys, here's a look at my truck, and in case any of you guys have not seen it yet, I got it a few months ago in October. So it's a nice truck. Let's get talking. Alright guys, so right to the point, of the three brands, you got Ford, Chevy, and Dodge. Dodge is like kind of like the stepchild, and I realize that. I'm not partial to any brands, and so why I think the Dodge trucks are good for your lawn care business, or even if you're not in lawn care, is because they're the stepchild. And so what that does, so because brand new, they cost about $10,000 less than the other two brands. And so what that does is, so in the used market, obviously, that translates to, now, not $10,000 worth, but, definitely, like this exact truck with this exact miles, if this was a Ford or Chevy, I probably would have had to pay about $3,000 to $4,000 more, after analyzing my market for many months and all that, and many websites, and, doing all this, doing a lot of research and doing a lot of looking. And so I think they're a great truck for the prices that you can get them for. Now, a couple things to be mindful of. After doing a lot of research, I have an extended family member who has a friend that owns a Dodge dealership, and he has Dodge vehicles. And his dad, and and then I have lots of customers that have this engine, the 5.7, in their Dodge Challenger, and just different things. I have other friends that have Dodge trucks, probably 5 other friends I know that have Dodge trucks, and I talk to people in the gas station and Walmart. Whenever I would see a Dodge truck, I would ask them. Not every time, but a lot of times I would try to. If they were parked or stopped or getting gas or something, I would just ask them about the truck if they had issues or whatever. So, and reading a lot of forums online and all these things. So something to be mindful of. Year 2010, 11, and 12. There is some issues with the top end of the engine on the 5.7 Hemi, which has to do with the 4-cylinder shut-off thing. It kind of does have something to do with it, but it kind of doesn't. It's like there's a little bit of failure in the top end of the engine, like with some of the cams and stuff, but it kind of has to do with the 4-cylinder shut-off thing. I actually had a problem. So, like I said, 10, 11, 12, I would avoid those years. 2013 and newer, you're good. In mine, like it's a 2009, was a good year too. And so that's why I pulled the trigger on this one, because 2009 was a good year. After doing a lot of research and talking to the person that owns the Dodge dealership, I gave him like the year's manufacturer on the door and all that. I still did have a little problem with one of the MDS solenoids one time. And so the engine was misfiring, and so I actually got a little thing. It's called a range technology, and you just leave this plugged in the OBD2 port, and that way it just turns off that 4-cylinder shut-off thing, because for us in lawn care, we really don't need it anyway. Driving around town didn't help me. It only hurts me. And so I have it's called MDS on here. On Chevy it's called AFM, Active Fuel Management. On the Dodge it's called it's MDS. Sorry. But anyway, it's the 4-cylinder shut-off thing when you're coasting and whatnot. So and it's just, that system's old now. I could replace the solenoids and stuff. But, unfortunately, all these newer trucks is something you're going to be faced with on every brand, like the Chevy. And even the other day, my friend that owns a shop had a Chevy where the engine was just totally ruined because the active fuel management on the Chevy. So it's kind of something you have to pay attention to, because all the trucks, the newer trucks, have it. So that's not really a fault with the Dodge. And I've had a couple exhaust manifold bolts were broke, which that was like that on my Chevy too. It's like that on almost every truck I have. If you have an older truck, it's probably, there may be a couple of those exhaust manifold bolts now, and you just don't realize it. So, it's just kind of one of them things. So we extracted those, and I've replaced the O2 sensors. I've done a spark plug job because it wasn't running perfectly smooth. I put the new plugs in. It runs beautifully. Map sensor. You know, I'm still chasing every now and then. You know, it'll pop on my check engine light a little bit because one of the fuel trims is up. So I'm still. I think I need to get the Mopar map sensor. Because I can't. You know, it's tested for vacuum leaks. You know, there's really no issues with the trucks. The only thing I can think of is that actual sensor. I put an aftermarket one in, but there was already an aftermarket one, and I just ordered the exact number of the one that was in there. So I think I need to put the Mopar map sensor in there. But anyway, all those things are not really Dodge's fault. You know, like all these things that are, you know, little issues that have gone on over time. I had an issue with one of the transponder in the key that came with the truck. Transponder, you know, just getting old. There was a little corrosion on the board and it wasn't reading it correctly, and so it had. One time I had a job and it kicked me out of the system. You know, it thinks the truck's being stolen or whatever. But anyway, I called a locksmith, and he was able to make me these keys. I called around a few locksmiths, and they referred me to one that has like the programmer that can make your car keys. So, and it's like less than half the price of getting one of these keys made from a dealer. So that's another tip, you know, on any brand. You know, some locksmiths, you know, it's either they will have the equipment or they won't, but they can make you car keys, truck keys, and things like that. So, like I said, I've had a lot of little things going on. But like I said, none of those are really problem with Dodge. You know, it's just more of you know, just how things are, and you know, neglect and things like that. So now I really got the truck. It's working really good. It's an awesome truck. I would recommend it. I would buy a Dodge again. You know, and I may in the future. Just because, like I said, I think it is the best bang for your buck is what I'm saying. The best truck for the money that you're going to spend. When I was younger, Dodge had some transmission issues, you know, but just because that's how they've always been doesn't mean that's how they are now. You know, I think after like 2004 or 2006, the transmissions are good, but then, like I said, you got to watch out for some of the 5.7 engines, like in that 2007, 2008 range. If they're running great and you turned off the MDS system, they'd be fine. But 09, the MDS system was updated a little bit, and it's better, and it's pretty good. But on mine, you know, it's still a little worn out. And if you're 2013 or newer, you're great. So get a 2009, or even some of the older ones before that, you know, as long as it's running good. And I will go ahead and turn off the MDS, get one of these little programmers. Or 13 and newer, you're good. And I would stay away from the 4.7 Hemi. I'm not saying it's a bad engine, but for the big trucks like this, talking to a lot of shops and get a lot of research, and again talking to all these same people that know Dodge, and I would stay away from that in the 1500 series. Although there are people that, you know, have 300-something thousand on them, so I'm not saying, oh, they're just a bad engine, but I would probably get the 5.7, or maybe, you know, depending on your needs, if you pull small, you might could get the V6. You know, I think that would be good too. I think that V6 is a pretty good engine. But anyway, so that's the deal. I won't ramble on anymore. I like the Dodge trucks. I like this truck overall. Very happy with it, you know. It's a great truck. And so, just want to, you know, put this thought into your guys' mind. And also, Monday, we got a really cool video coming out. Me and a few other guys are doing the video together. It's going to be really cool. So y'all stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. I'm out.